Oh, I'm live already. Hold on. I'm going over to YouTube so I can see things the way you guys see things. Just give me a second to get there. Oh boy. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Come on. There we go. Let's mute that. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Maybe here in my live. Okay. Let's put it on live chat, even though I'm the only one in the room. But don't do it now. I'll forget. Okay. So we're just going to cut and sort and chat. And I'll show. I got a little tiny bit of goodies today for scaventure. And I'm tired. I took a little nap. I thought that would be enough, but I think I could have slept straight through. So if I'm still tired after the live, I may go ahead and just go back to bed. I'm an adult, though. I'm allowed, right? That's the sort of thing that you're allowed when you're an adult. Maybe. Every now and then, right? Except that life often tells us that we have to do things that we don't want to do. Okay, so I know it's only been one day, but I hope you guys are still having an awesome week. And that you had crafty fun since yesterday. I know a lot of you work and you don't craft every day, or you have a limited amount of time to craft every day. And I got yawns. I'm so sorry. Some days just kick my booty. Well, when we went out, Elle said, I think that we were going to 3 stores, and I think we went to 6. Went to 5 or 6. And one of them was the Daiso store, so I did get a couple of things at Daiso. I didn't find it to be nearly as exciting as Els did, but I'm not all that excited about Asian stuff in general. I think we talked about this the other day when I was selling the Asian images from that digital, the CGI digital art book with its stunning images. The images are beautiful. I don't deny that. It's just not something that I would normally use. And it's kind of the same way with like Hello Kitty, and I've just never really understood the appeal. But different strokes for different folks, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And so we went to the Daiso store. We went to 2 Goodwills, 2 Dollar Trees. So that's 2, 4, 5. Did we go anywhere else? We went to Wally World. 6 places. We were at the Wally World. Oh, people are crazy at the Wally World. Okay. But I did get something that I needed to get. And walked right out of there without another thing that I needed to get that I've been thinking about for days. And I didn't realize it till we got home. And I was in the bathroom. I need feminine products. So hopefully we'll go back sometime soon. And I'll be able to do a refill on that stuff, right? Unfortunately, until menopause fully kicks in, I still have to put up with that BS. And if people tell me, oh, you're not going to be happy because, hot flashes and this and that. And I'm like, I will gladly exchange what's happening in my body with all the hot flashes in the world. But that's just me. Also, I would just like for it to be, come on, it's been almost 51 years. April is my birthday, and oh my gosh. Oh, that's not the right tooth. There we go. Okay. Hello, Tina. How you doing? You're treading it. I am going to, I've been, harvesting. Oh, now I have like 2 pairs of glasses. I just tried to put glasses on over glasses. I've been harvesting magazines. I do typically 1 video a week on it. And even when I don't go live, I harvest. So I have piles of these harvested things. And I have not been very good about sorting them into their appropriate. I have those plastic folders that snap closed to sort them into different categories. I haven't been doing that. I haven't been fussy cutting any images out, and I haven't been like, here's a strip. I need to, cut the white parts off. I haven't been doing that. So that's what I'm going to do. Not terribly exciting. And just for about an hour. I have been tired and kind of not doing the lives like I should. So I thought tonight I would just come on and blabber at people and do that. So from one of the Goodwills, I got this set of, let me pull look, they stuck the tag. This was nice of them because these are both older ones. They put the tag for how much it cost onto one of these tags, and then they stapled that to the top of the thing here. I didn't buy it for this one per se, although that is kind of cute. I just really love this 70s one. Oh my God. Look at the little kids. Aren't they cute? Nice to see you too. I hope you are feeling well and having a great week. So, one of the things I love about sewing patterns are these. I love these. I used to gesso over them and do mixed media on them. This one's a little fragile, but and these pieces are fun to collage with too. They just are, aren't they? Okay, so let's shovel that back in there. But I mostly bought it for just the cover on this one. I'll figure out a way to use that either as a cover or, since it's not in very good shape, maybe just cut and put it onto the cover of a front journal. They're just cute and they feel very 60s, 70s to me. Look at the little coats, they're sweet. This is the one that caught my eye. Okay, and then Elle saw this, and of course, so she got it, and she gave it to me, and I'm going to use it, of course. Little pumpkins, yay, pumpkins. Elle's came home with one of these. Just, it's not like I'm going to need the packaging. Just maybe a week or so ago, some CD sleeves. So now I have 2 small piles. These were a little pricey for how many there are, $2.99. But when you buy them online, they're more than that. Although I think you get 100 online. But I haven't gotten in a while, and I was like all over it. There will be a year on there in tiny print, you think? USA. 1974. I was right, 1970s. It's from 1974. Right down here in itsy bitsy, teeny tiny print, right there. 1974, Simplicity Pattern Company. And then it lists an address. There's the US one, the Canadian one, and the British one. Yeah, they're just too fun. The other one is obviously from a later period. Let's see. 2002. This Butterick pattern is from 2002. Right, and then they had some flashcards. So let's get into here and see what we got. Okay. There we go. Oh, looks like an animal chewed on the. I think they must have had a cat. You can see the little claw marks. But the cards are in good shape. A cat played with the box at some point, or a puppy chewed on it. So these are the ones that are slightly glossy on one side and more matte on the other. And we will dye those a color or tea. I prefer them tea dyed myself, but they do take color reasonably well. And sometimes it's fun to have different things. So yeah, just a box of multiplication flashcards. And the last thing is this baggie of window envelopes. Yeah, they are. I love the really tall, thinner ones. Those are a little bit harder to come by because I think that style is actually vintage. And then I don't know if you saw it, but like maybe a week or so ago, maybe a little bit longer than a week, Brooke had some super vintage ones, and she was selling them for $1 a piece because they were, you know, extra super vintage. And oh, they were gorgeous, but I could not pay that price. It's not in my budget, and nobody's gonna buy flashcards for me for more than $1. Because if I buy it and I tea dye it, then I have to charge more than $1, right? Because I went through the whole thing. So these are a little bit older. They are still the licky envelopes instead of the peel and stick, which are the bane of my existence. It's a personal preference. This has nothing to do with dyeing because those dye up just fine. But these are older. It's thicker than most window envelopes are today. If we go back there, I may buy it. They had a bunch of these. But, you know, I thought, oh, one's plenty. But now that I'm touching it, it's a good weight. I think I really like that. So, and it's a double window envelope. And check out that security pattern under there. That's not, it's blue. It's a blue. So that's a pretty good chunk of envelopes, though, even if we don't get back. They maybe had 10 of these, and I probably should have picked up 2 or 3 based on what I'm touching now, because this is much thicker than window envelopes are being made now. So these are probably 70s, maybe. 70s or early 80s. So there we go. What else? Oh, what did I get from the Daiso store? Okay. So Elsa's in there buying like responsible adult things for grafting. I was like, I need to try these. I love banana flavored things, but it's hard to find banana flavored things that taste enough like banana. These, I'm probably massacring. It's Milkita. It is a milky, creamy banana something. I tore off the packaging. But it has a nice, a very nice medium banana flavor. It's a little hard to start, but after you've had it in your mouth for this is just going to sound dirty. It softens up and you can chew it like about the consistency of maybe a Starburst candy. But I really like them. But when you first put it in your mouth, it's almost like a hard candy. So I got that. And I limited myself to just 2 things. Now, I have from the dollar store yesterday, I got a bag of voodoo chips. And I can only eat 3 or 4 of these at a time because they're pretty hot. And I like spicy, but I don't want to die while I'm eating it. But I really like these. So from Daiso, I picked up these Turbo Flames Saboritas. It's a flavored corn. So it's like a I guess it's an equivalent of like a puffed Cheetos that's twisted. I haven't tried it yet, so I'll have to report back on that. It doesn't pull like a taffy though. You know, with a taffy, you can pull it apart. I just dropped something down behind my desk. This is like, it's almost like like you can't squish that. I couldn't pull this if I wanted to. So it starts out really hard. But once you start chewing it, that's why I said it's kind of like a Starburst. It's got like kind of that waxy feel to it. But once you've sucked on it for a while, I was trying to avoid saying that, it does start to soften up. And then it becomes chewable. But it might be a form of taffy. I just associate taffy with you being able to kind of pull it even straight out of the packaging. So there's that. I bought a new piece of clothing today, which we don't need to look at. And then while we were at Daiso, Alice did a review on these for like using on stencils. So I got a couple of these. And it's like so much packaging. Do you want in here? No, I guess I don't. Because you put it on enough. Here we go. Okay. Ha. I have to be smarter than the package, and I'm not. So it's just a little, it's almost like a pouncer, but it was in the makeup section. Ooh, and it's silky soft. I just want to pet it now. But I've been doing some stenciling stuff, so this will come in handy. I went ahead and got two. Elsa's, even though they have brushes, can become kind of colored from the inks, but once you've rubbed all the color off, it doesn't stay with the color. So one for darks and one for lights, just to be safe. And if it turns out later that I need more than that, fine, and we know where the Daiso store is, right? And then I love these for stenciling as well. These make I don't like those little pouncer things. The little tool that Timmy sells and that you can get like the generic version of. Because they crumb up. They start to like flake away. But I love these. This one was $4.50, I think. I have my receipt here somewhere. Let's see. I would have got 2 or 3 if they weren't $4 a piece. My budget is pretty tight right now. Goodwill, dollar. Here's the Daiso receipt. Let's see. Food sale. Fountain brush oval. Yeah, this was $4. So. Oh, facial wash brush for nose. That's what this says. It's a facial wash brush for your nose. Interesting. I would have never guessed. I know it has a picture of her like rubbing it on her face, and it does feel, I got to tell you, when you rub the top like this, it does feel super soft. So that would probably feel really good around your nose. Probably to keep your pores from getting clogged up, but also for stenciling. So, but these are also soft. I have another one. Oh, yeah, I'd like to have a bunch of these, so I'll have to buy them like one at a time. I know you can get them on Amazon too. And there is a smaller one, but I need this size for the bigger stenciling I'm doing. It's got a good hand feel to it. All that needs to go out to the recycle now. Yeah. So that was, let's see, is that all my purchases for today? I did buy a pile of books. I'm not going to show all of those. But I'd never heard of this comic when I was in the store, the Get Fuzzy Experience. It has a very 70s looking cover. I guess these are really popular. According to the back of the book, they're super popular. By Darby Connolly. I read through a few in the store, and this is from 2003. But they're just fun little comics, so I thought it'd be fun to tea dye this. And use in like glue books and stuff, or in just as a fun addition to personal journaling. You could like do your grateful journaling around the edges and here, around the photographs and the things, but they're just pretty funny, and the pets are a little weird. It has a kind of a Doonesbury feel to it, but I haven't actually. I'll probably read through the book a little bit. I just thought it would be fun to tea dye it, and that it would be fun to use in collage and stuff, you know. See, here he says, a sense of right and wrong, question mark. The other one said, no, it's kind of more of a door thingy. But I love the look on the front. He's got a little afro going on. Look at this fuzzy collar. So that's one of the things I picked up. And then I probably shouldn't admit this because then people have less of an opinion of me. I have not read the Fellowship of the Ring books. I never did. I've read most of the first one a long time ago. And oh, look, I got goodies. A gift for you, Yardley. Glitter trinket chest. Glitter trinket chest contains 3 2-ounce glitter splash, 1 mirror, 1 poof sponge. So that's what they were using. So they got as far as page 218, apparently. And then I've meant to sit down and read it, but usually I can find this in the mass market paperback size. Hey, Sherry. You've read that comic? I've never seen it before, but you know. Oh no, with the books. I am a bookaholic. I probably should be in some kind of recovery program. But these are a nice size. I love the trade paperback size of books. It is my favorite size. So I found these on the shelf today. And, you know, books like this at the Goodwill and the Savers here are usually $3.99 to $5.99. Check it out, guys. I got them for $1.99. So these are for reading. These are not for crafting. Maybe eventually, but I think I kind of want to have a set of my own in case I want to reread it. But this is a good size for me to sit and read. Even with reading glasses, I'm finding mass market paperbacks can be hard to read because some of them have really tiny printing. Now, a number of years ago, somebody recommended this author to me, and I saw this on the shelf today. And I thought, damn, that's a chunker. That was my first thought. And I think this was the book the person recommended to me. Hopefully it is. I think I've read White Noise by him. Don DeLilio. So I thought, well, because again, this in normally in the Savers close to our house, this would be $5.99. I got it for $1.99. And green tags was today's sale. So I lucked out. Hey, Chris, how you doing? So I was like, score. So these weren't necessarily for crafting. I just, I wanted to own them and read them because I do read. And then I got these because these are YA fiction. But they're not the first book. They're like book 4 and book 5 of a series. Attack of the Fiend. So this is book 4 and this one is book 5. And I will look for the other ones on paperback swap, but you know, to find again a trade paperback size is an awesome thing for me. It is my favorite size. I love the artwork on the covers. So I may, when I'm done reading this, because there are some illustrated pages in here. I may for Halloween tea dye some of them. These are also fun. YA books I love for blackout poetry because of the size of the words. But there are some illustrations in here. But a friend of mine recommended this to me, and I am a fan of YA fiction. It's simple and streamlined. There are a few tropes in YA literature that I don't care for, but overall, it's usually clean lines in the story, and I like that. Oh, thanks, Janice. Yeah, so I'll find the other books. The covers caught my attention, and I remember somebody telling me, "Oh, you should try out this series," and I went, because probably at the time I didn't have money, but I do love good YA fiction, and I've always been a fan of horror. So if I can find a combination of horror and YA, how about them apples? This has holes in it from the stamp, but I think I may go ahead and chunk it if I can get that sticker off. Sometimes they just peel right off, and other times they're like, no, we're not going. Nope, it's not coming off. I thought I might reuse the tag, but even with the staples in it. Yeah, so I am a fan of YA, and even children's books. I like some chapter books. I just read. Let me grab it. Alice actually bought it for me because I didn't have any money that day, and she's like, "What do you want this for?" And I said, "Just to read it." This lady, Mary Downing Hahn, she writes some really fun. I didn't care for this one all that much because it had the thing I hate most in children's books. Parents who believe whatever other adults tell them, and then an obnoxious kid that's obnoxious for no reason, like incredibly obnoxious. You would punch this kid in the face in real life. But closed for the season. She writes kind of cute juvenile mysteries. And this one is about an abandoned amusement park and missing money. And it's cute. It's cute. It's a step up from maybe Goosebumps. It's a little bit more it's not quite as simplistic as a Goosebumps, but it's not as involved as maybe something that's that's actual YA. I read it in a couple of hours, but so I do read that kind of stuff. Yeah, sometimes the art, you know what? They still do fun, creepy artwork on these. That's a fun, creepy artwork, right? So, but they're good, simple, fun, easy, clean lines, great stories. I figured out the ending of that real early, but I don't always when I read stuff like that. I'm sorry, I'm just really thirsty. See, that's a little bit of my passions, things that I really like. All right, so we're going to put this off to the side a little bit. I'm going to grab my paper cutter. It's back here. It's in a safe place, but at least I know what the safe place it's in. Yeah, I do. And then, I love just children's books in general, like picture books. Oh, I have such a weakness for those. I have to admit it. Total weakness for kids' picture books. All right. I become not an adult at that level. I'm just going through the... What was I looking at today that I was just having? Oh, the Dinosaur Stomp book about dinosaurs dancing. Oh, killing me. It was so awesome. I read it like 3 times. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's just cute. Okay. We're going to have to start here because that's the only clean edge. So I'm just going to trim things down, and we'll see how long we feel like watching this and chatting, right? Keeping it simple, but also getting things done that I need to get done. And let's see. I had 2 pairs of these, so I went and I took one out to the garage because I always need a pair of scissors in the garage when I'm dyeing paper and stuff out there. Breaking down boxes and stuff like that. So I switched the pair that I feel like are cutting funny for the pair out in the garage. Because it doesn't matter if it feels weird just for cutting open boxes. And you know, like the reams of the paper, I feel like when you don't want them to rip open all the way, they just rip open all the way and the paper goes blah, everywhere. But if you don't want it to rip open, or if you do want it to rip open all the way, that stuff refuses to open even a little bit. It's like trying to pry gold out of Fort Knox to get one of those open. So, and Mike has a pair of scissors out there, but I don't always want to wander into his area and just rifle through his things. So I finally just took a pair out there. So I brought in the pair from outside and I cleaned it up a smidge. And I left that icky pair that was driving me bananas outside. So we did the garden and gun book yesterday. Some of these images are from that. Yeah, so I have all these just piles of harvested images. And normally I sit after a live and I take care of that kind of stuff. I tore this with the ruler, so where's my ruler? But I didn't get this. This was in the trash pile and I picked it up to take it out to the recycle last night. Thinking about, you know what? I always had this dream where I wanted to have like a library room, not a big room, but a room lined with bookshelves. And I did for a number of years in my 30s, but I sold all of my books to leave my husband, my then husband. And I miss my books, but I don't miss my ex-husband. But when I picked up the papers to take them out of the recycle, they went everywhere. And in the pile was this, it's a giant cocktail that was in that magazine. And I just was struck by the image of it. I thought it would look good in the background of a collage. So I pulled it out. And that's as refined as we're getting with it. Because I might ink the edges and stuff, but I think that's fine. So we'll just push these off to the side over here. The goal is just to get things cut down and more ready to use. They don't have to be perfect. Because some of the finer cutting you want to do, and some really, really fussy pieces, you don't want to cut those out all the way. Because then you run the risk of, in the meantime, while it's being stored. Oh, this one needs a little fix. I need a little piece of washi tape on the back of that. The question is, Amy, where is your washi tape? Okay, we're going to put this one up here. I'm gonna just cut off this flappy bit. Because the washi tape is under that stuff up there. But I can fix the thing. Janice needs a coffee refill. I feel you on that. That's all good. Stay safe on your trip to the coffee pot, man. Yeah, but I would love to get the collection back. I love to collect folklore and fairy tales, adult and children versions. I'd love to have a full set of the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, because even though children are not necessarily my favorite people, you just sort of, they're part of life in. But I love the idea of having a library where people can come and sit and read with me. I'm not a very good company person. I don't do, I know I'm babbling away here, but I'm not good with small talk and stuff. Do you ever meet people that they're effortlessly social? They're able to effortlessly socialize. I am so socially awkward. It's terrible. So, leg lamp. We got to have the leg lamp, guys. I like the background on this, but I'm going to want to have it as just a cutout leg lamp. And I have another one somewhere in another pile. It comes off of a bourbon ad in the Gun and Garden magazine. And I think it's fun. A leg lamp is such a guy thing to own, right? I feel like it's a very masculine. sort of purchase. Almost a find, right? They're handed down from single guy to getting married guy. I think I'm going to have to cut the fringe off, though, because I don't feel like I can always draw some fringe in later. Not that big a deal. These have a weird serrated edge on them so that they have a very ASMR noise when you cut with them. Still in season 20 of Midsummer Murders. They brought in this, so it's the third, like, his partner guy, the main guy. So we're on our second main guy and our third partner guy. Winter. He's been for a few seasons now. I didn't like him to start with, but he kind of grown on me. I really liked the second guy. And they had him on for a guest episode. So that was fun. But I'm like on season 20, episode 2 or 3, I think. And Janice is back with the coffees. All right, so there's our little leg lamp. How fun is that? Sometimes you need a little leg lamp in your life. But yeah, I would love to build my library back up. I had an awesome collection of, let's see. I went with a twist. I don't necessarily need ginger and honey. So let's cut right through that. And we'll just right there, just like that. Okay. Because I cut it, I have an easier time cutting it from this side because I am right-handed. I would love to be a bit more ambidextrous. I got to be honest with you. Make life a little bit easier. Okay. And then I watched the requel of the Scream movie again last night or early this morning, depending on how you want to think about that. I'm going to keep that. It says tribute. I might like to have that. But I'm not going to cut it down any further because words smaller than like this size become hard to find in the ginger ale. All flavor, no sting. And I want to cut out this cocktail. But I think what I want to do is just tear, because I kind of like this bubbling effect. So I just want to tear the edges off, I think, because I'm feeling torn edges right now. Oh, that's nice. I don't think I've read those, though. They have been recommended to me. Is it a good series? I want all of the Hardy Drews. That says it all, right? I just think they're a quintessential, like, young person. They're great for kids who are kind of between, like, the YA literature and chapter books, because they're still pretty simple and the print is still pretty big. I like the 70s ones with the covers. That's kind of fun. Okay. Honey Reserve Ginger Ale. I might like that, actually. Sounds okay. Could be totally awful, though. And then I collected a lot of folklore and Never Hide. I am going to try and trim this down a little bit because it's a bigger piece with the paper trimmer. Just because it's big and I'm bad at keeping straight lines on really big. I'm just not good at it, man. Okay, that needs to come down just a smidge. No. Okay. I'm going to hold it right here. There we go. And then let's see if we can get on just the rough edge off the other end of that. That's where I muffed it up with the ruler. I found that since I need to change the blade, if I don't start like right at the edge, typically I can get it. Come on. I didn't push down hard enough right there. There, we got it, we got it. Then I can typically do the ends okay myself. There we go. They had a hideout in one boy's family junkyard with secret. Oh, fun. Okay, I would probably like something like that. Are they hard to find though? Because it's Alfred Hitchcock. Okay, we got this for ransom lettering. I need to get a little. I need to go to Harbor Freight at some point. Maybe over the summer. I could talk Els into it. They have those plastic containers that you're supposed to sort like nuts and bolts into. They're actually very helpful for putting like letters into. I think there's just enough for the letters of the alphabet and the numbers, like 1 through 9 and a 0. I think that's about how many. They might have like 26 spots. Anyway, to put the alphabet letter. This is the slightly blurry picture. It says, "I live long new beginnings. Live long imagination." Long live imagination. So I kind of like that. So do I want to use, I think I want to use the ruler on this. I just want to cut this down a smidge. I'm not going to cut the words off the picture. I think I want to use it just like that. But I don't want it quite so far on the edges there. There we go. And then I want to try and remove. I need to do this carefully. Hold it down nice and strong because I don't want to mess up long live imagination. I just don't want the rest of the stuff that's underneath it. Because it's about photography and I don't know what kind of camera and all that for just to use it for collaging. That's not good. I'm going to have trouble with this. I did it. There's like a little weird bump right there, but there we go. There we go. So we'll slide that under there. Like you need to talk me into going to Harvard. I didn't know you were in here. A little hard to find it. Well, I can play a long game with that. You know, it's not like I desperately need it. And right now, I live in somebody else's house, so I can hardly start building a library when you live with someone else. But it's kind of I just love books, and I love to have a collection, you know, of all kinds of fun things. Okay, there's our little emo guy. I should fussy cut him out, huh? Let's just do it. Let's just fussy cut him out. It's good to have things already fussy cut out when you're collaging. He looks a little emo. How are you out in the living room, Els? How's things in the living room or in the craft room? Are you working on editing your video or are you just taking a break? Were we at the Goodwill? Or maybe it was I don't remember what store, maybe it was the Chinese food place where we came out and there was a big flashy sports car parked in the handicap parking, not handicap plates. And there was just a person sitting in it, just hogging up a handicap space because their car was special. It was yellow. Oh my God. I'm not a car person, though. I just think all I thought was, you're a jackass. But I was also, nope, refilming. Oh, no. So you're going to have 2 of those? Oh, my gosh. Well, I know you won't have trouble finding homes for the extras because it's definitely a popular style. So yeah, I rewatched the Scream requel. And they are leaving it wide open to restart the whole franchise with a new series of movies. With a new cast and everything. I think that's probably the last time you'll see the legacy characters. And they did a terrible thing that made me unhappy. But if you think you might watch it, I don't want to ruin it for you, but it broke my heart. The thing is, they introduced all this new generation of characters, new teens for the movies, of course, because you need a young cast for, that's typically the cast of that type of movie. But they didn't really flesh them out very much before they just started killing everybody. But they had some good, interesting plot points, I thought, that gives it, kind of breathes some new life into it. But I will miss the old characters because, I love the Scream movies. Well, it was actually kind of I never heard of a requel before, which is a combination sequel and reboot. So that was fun because they had to, do the whole rules thing like they did with the original movies. Be unexpected. We can expect to not cut a freaking straight line is what we can do. That's what's unexpected about this. Nope, Amy, you couldn't cut a straight line if somebody's life depended on it. All right, that's going to have to do. Okay. Yeah, they are. They do a lot of remakes. See, like when I sort this out, this is obviously a holiday one, And I think I'm going to leave it like that for now. I can cut it down later if I'd like to. Answer the Call of the Wild. Okay, since this is already all trimmed with the ruler, we'll trim this last edge off with the ruler. I want it a little bit closer on this side too, if we can get it. Because the torn edges look good inked. Okay. I think I've talked about it before. I think the good horror and crime drama stuff is coming out of not the U.S. for the most part. The really good horror is coming from like Finland and Scandinavian countries. It's coming out of Mexico and Central America. It's coming out of not necessarily China, but Indonesian countries. They're more pushing the envelope than American movie makers. Just keep making the same thing, and they keep casting the same type of people. And you expect a certain bit of sameness with slasher movies, but they're not breaking any new ground, and they rely too heavily on CGI, I think. Where, you can't CGI anything more scary than what I can think of. They show too much. Less is more in this case, I think. Get your butt in gear. So, that's just my 2 cents. And I think also we've gone too far with the shock horror. The Hostel and Purge and Saw. There's only so much you can do for shock value before, it's a limited audience, I feel like. Because I couldn't watch endless amounts of Saws. I never watched all of them. I thought the first one was really good because it was shocking for what it was. Kind of the same with Hostel. But I don't need 5 Hostels and 5 Saws. And it's, for me, and The Purge was too real life, Finding Your Way, that's a good one. If it could definitely really happen in real life, I don't think I necessarily want to watch that so that we can all get better ideas on how to kill each other. No. Even I have limits, guys. Even I have limits. I did rewatch Clue again. God, I love that movie. If they ever remake that, I'll be so sad. The Long Way Down. All right, so yeah, this is kind of what I do. Usually after the live, although I haven't been because I am behind on so many things. I haven't been doing it. I usually I've been piling the piles into bigger piles. And I've reached a point where I'm like, I have a ridiculous amount of piles. So I thought, well, it's not terribly exciting, but we can come on and chat about some things. What's your guys' favorite types of movies? I talk a lot about horror. I do like chick flicks too. When I'm not feeling particularly positive about life, I tend to watch a lot of rom-coms. Just because they're stupidly optimistic. And sometimes you need that in your life. Shut your face. What? Oh, about your having to refilm it. Silence is golden. I think I might just want silence. But I'll keep the whole thing for right now. I do love me some silence. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Like, it's fun to have the grandkids here, but the best thing about the first couple hours after they leave is the quiet. Because children don't need quiet. I mean, they probably do need it, but they really don't have quiet, like, unless they're sleeping. They just go all day long and they never stop talking or doing things that make noise or having the TV. No, because they're kids. They're full of activity and energy, and oh my gosh, the amount of activity and the amount of noise is exhausting. And I know I was a kid once and I was exhausting to somebody else. Science fiction or future. I like that too. Let's see, what kind of sci-fi do I like? That future. Older than old. I think I want to keep this as a whole image to use in my personal journal for my birthday. Because it's coming up. Sooner than I know, right? Since we flubbed the edge on that, let's just make a new edge. There we go. And we'll take the top off that. That's a lot of birthday candles, though. That's all I'm talking about. And then over here on the edge. You don't need it to be that long. Isn't that fun, though? That's some candles. I know it's got his name right in there, but I can do something about that. Maybe. Matters of the Heart. Add that to my spring / I have a spring / Valentine's. I epically failed at it this year, and it was not on purpose, I swear. I gotta save it till next year. I should have a pretty good collection by then, right? do some general journaling. Okay. There we go. Got it. And then here, I think I just want the word moon. Bless you. I could hear Elle sneeze in the other room. Oh, The Fifth Element. That's a good movie. I like that one. I haven't seen it in a while. The Chronicle. Oh, I love The Chronicles of Riddick. I don't think much of him as an actor, but I really liked him in those movies. I like his voice, though. I do like his voice. I will say that. That's already as it needs to be. Away we go. That needs a little trim up right there. It looks like a 2. And then it goes up at the... There we go. Okay, I think that's good enough. Secret ingredients. Trim it just a little bit closer. Okay. I did like Battlestar Galactica, although that's more drama, I think. It's in space, but it's really more of a drama type thing. And there's the guy with his dog that looks like a dog with people legs and shiny shoes. Right? I loved oh, I can't think of the name of it. Something far something. It was in the living spaceship. Oh, that's going to drive me bananas now. It was one human and a bunch of aliens. Really love that show. I need to leave this as is because if I cut it apart, we're just getting started. It'll get separated and I'll never remember that it needs to be together. Okay, so I'm going to cut the people off and Farscape. Yes, that's it. Oh, I love that show. I watched that religiously. Me and my ex and even the kids got in on it. I absolutely adored that show. I love the original Star Trek, but I love the remakes too. And I always was more of a Trekkie than I'm not heavy into either one. But I indoctrinated my own children into Star Trek. I made them both sit and watch it. Love Star Trek. And I did like the new movies they made of them. I thought they did a good job with those. I hear there might be another one coming out. So I'm a little bit excited about that. For my summer bucket. And then we'll keep them separately, but we'll rip the top off this so that it's torn on all sides. There we go. Just blurry people on the beach. I just like this because it's a couple and they're like out bird hunting or something ridiculous. Yeah, they did get a little heavy when they were doing is it Scorpius or something like that? When he was like in it, they kind of went too far with it. Like it got real dark. And it was a little heavy. Kind of Supernatural did the same thing for me, though. It got real dark and real heavy. And you know what? I love the show, but I'm struggling to finish it because it's gotten dark like that, you know? You can only watch so much of that before your brain's like, we can't watch this anymore. It's too much. I like that sand dunes with the beach grass. These ones are already kind of okay.
I'm going to leave it like that, but I may actually wind up chopping off a little bit more on the side there, depending on where it goes. Discovering a writer's place. This is going to be for my personal journal. I do like to write beyond journaling. I not for anybody to ever read, but just to like get ideas out of my head. Sometimes I get fixated on ideas, and the best way to get them out is just to write them down. For years and years, I participated in NaNoWriMo, the National Novel Writing Month in November. That's a terrible month for NaNoWriMo. Trying to make people write a book right before Christmas and Thanksgiving. And so I think I might participate this year. I can get sufficiently caught up on everything. Not if, when I get caught up on everything. And I even get ahead. Because I can't go on the scaventure this year with L's if I don't get ahead. I cannot justify taking a trip, no matter how fun and necessary it can be for the business, if I'm still behind. Here's our dog. The giant letter C. When I'm 90. I don't want to write for anybody to read. It's just fun. It's just fun to do. And I love doing NaNoWriMo because there's a big sense of community with it. And I know some authors have gotten their start that way, using that format. I have a couple of YA ideas. And then I like writing kind of creepy stuff too. That'll do. I just love that. Okay. So let's start here. Because that side's flat. It's the name of a boat. That's just awesome. I'm glad they ended Farscape when they did, because I think it had the potential to just become a very terrible show if they had kept going. Kind of the same with Battlestar Galactica. It kind of just came to a natural end, you know, which is good. How did you like did you watch the new Danger Will Robinson, that one? They did the remake. I only watched the first season because I was waiting for it to end. Because otherwise I have to go back and watch the whole thing over again to get re-caught up. Because there's so long between the seasons. But I thought they did a pretty good job to Lost in Space. That's the one. I never watched the original, really. Because I grew up on Armed Forces TV. We lived overseas. And it was, I think, probably a little bit before my time. I would have been a little kid, I think, when it was first coming out. But I loved the reruns, and I thought they did a good job with the remake. I even kind of liked the movie they did. Not a super huge fan of it, but I thought it was okay. It was entertaining. But I don't have any real purchase in the original series, so I wouldn't have never felt betrayed about it. I kind of like the remake, the TV series they did on Netflix, I think it was. Yes? Why are you looking at me like that? But I'm lying.
Entertain me.
What are you doing?
Get the dust off the door.
It shouldn't be that dusty. I cleaned it not that long ago. Yes, I cleaned my own door. Holy shit.
I know where you didn't clean.
No, I don't do up there. I'm short.
You can't reach it.
That involves a step stool. I'm going to hurt myself. I'll leave that to the fat man. He can see it when he changes that filter up there. He'd be like, that's dusty. We should clean that. Technically, that's not inside my room. How's that for a cop-out?
Pretty good.
I almost just put the trash piece on my pile,
and put
the piece I cut.
in the trash.
Oh my God. I have a journal page that says A House of Her Own. It was a little tiny house.
No, the reason I came in here was you were talking about the back end of that boat.
Yeah, that'll do.
You know, they found the Endurance.
I saw
2 days
something.
ago. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
They got pictures of it. It looks perfect.
Well, it's in the
pristine.
Antarctic, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the minute they bring it up, it'll start.
Decaying.
Yeah. So they're going to have to get their pictures underwater and everything.
106 years later, and they found it. That's pretty cool. Not that they said it's only like within 5 miles of where they originally where Woolsey said it went down.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
But anything in the cold like that's going to keep it preserved.
Yeah.
But the minute they dredge that up, it'll start decaying at an exponential. Oh.
I think it's funny though, because if you think about the movie National Treasure, they actually bored the Endurance
Right.
and they found it was in pristine condition.
Yeah.
And what, 20 years later after the film,
There it is in
There
the
it is.
Antarctic.
in pristine condition.
I love that movie, by the way.
I do too.
It's one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies.
I actually like both of them. Like,
yeah,
they
yeah.
were both
They did
good.
a good job. You know, the other one by him that's terrible that I really like, Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
They're remaking that with Norman Reedus, though. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. So did you
'Cause I
talk
like
about you
Norman.
flashed your boobs today?
No, I totally forgot about that. Oh my God, I wore this shirt today. It's this shirt right here. And it's really lightweight and it's super comfy, but it's cut in such a way that it's very...
This is my most comfy shirt.
Didn't you just get that?
No, I've had this for 15 years.
But it's very, like, if the wind blows, it's...
Yeah, it was a shirt up day.
You know, people talk about dress up days where it's windy and your dress is going to go up over your head. This was a shirt up day. And I kept trying to keep it down, but we, at the last Goodwill, we were trying to get in the car and I was trying to put the bags in to the back. And I turned, and as I turned, my shirt went all the way up. There was my big, fat, flabby belly and my boobs just hanging out for the world to see. Oh, my God. Luckily, there wasn't really anybody around. But you know, there was some poor schmo in a car going, oh, my God, I'm blonde.
It's the blonde. It's the white thing.
Probably just like fish belly white.
Yeah.
But you didn't see it, so, you know.
I know. I'm so depressed. You're out flashing the world and I don't even get a peek. That's okay. Mike mooned us the other day and you missed that. So
I was looking at you when
I
I
know. He's all, yeah.
I knew he did something. Well, he's always trying to protect me from going, I didn't need to see that. It's always my reaction. Let's see. What are they saying about you now? They are not. Oh, they're not. I know. I was like, I was so embarrassed. Like, I'm wearing a sports bra, but still, I've passed the age where I want to be showing my boobs to perfect strangers. Not that there was ever actually an age where I was flashing my boobs to perfect strangers. Let's just be clear on that. I think I might be a prude. You do whatever you want, but I don't want to flash my boobs to the public. In my opinion, they were never that exciting. I tried to make that with a nice fun ripped edge, but it wasn't getting there. It was just getting wonkier and wonkier. Yeah, so that was my my fun shenanigans for the day. I flashed an entire parking lot. Yeah, I heard they're remaking Ghost Rider with Norman Reedus, and I love him as Daryl Dixon on The Walking Dead. Okay, so I wanted to cut this apart. I want Proudly Independent and Originally Bold and Boldly Original as two separate things. But as an actor, like, I've watched most of his stuff because he was in a lot of low budget films as bit players. Outside of what was it? He did like that one movie that was kind of mafia related. What was it called? Anyway, I never watched that because that's not my. Those are guy movies, you know. They don't really do anything for me. I know that he's pretty famous for that, but before that movie, he really didn't do much. He was in Blade 2, and I did like him in that role, but he wasn't a good guy. And I don't think I would be, I'm not necessarily interested in him for who he is as an actor. I just really like the character Gerald Dixon. For whatever reason, it works for me. But I think he might be an okay in a remake of The Ghost Rider. I'm not a super huge Nicolas Cage fan. Like, I couldn't point to anything specific, but I really did love him in National Treasure. I didn't like in the one about the Dan Brown book. I just didn't care for that. Or that wasn't, was that him? Maybe it wasn't him. It was somebody else. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of warmed up to him as an actor a little bit. But yeah, one of my favorite movies with him in it totally is National Treasure. Live it up. Okay. That's another thing I can wait to do till I'm 90. Start flashing people. Look at these. People will be in therapy for years after that. Gonna get a big purple hat or a big red hat. And a coat to match. Just go around flashing people. What are they gonna do? I'm old. I'm trying to think of what he was in. Like, it may just be that I didn't watch very many movies with him in it, or that I don't really think about them that often. Okay. So we're going to cut out these wine bottles because they're like Rolling Stones, 40 licks. This one is Pink Floyd. They're all like from rock bands. This is from that Rolling Stone we did yesterday. I just thought they were fun, so I thought I would fussy cut them out. So let's try and cut. There's just enough room to cut them apart from each other. There's one for the Grateful Dead. And this one is from the Police. Las Vegas honeymoon. Yeah, I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that. I don't think that it's as I thought he's a bad actor. I think maybe he was just in a few movies that are in a genre that is not my, not necessarily my cup of tea.
Okay, the new eyelets are here.
The new eyelets are here?
Yeah. Can you guess what color I bought them for?
Right.
Okay, let me look.
Look at the fun eyelets she got. There's pink, black, and another orange, silver, ooh, blue, white, green. So that's supposed to be gold or yellow.
It's yellow.
And then what's this over here? Some more silver? No, it's gray. What color did you buy it for?
Yeah.
Black?
Nope.
Pink?
That teal.
This teal right here.
Yeah. It's a hard one to find.
It's a nice color though. Will I be able to use some of these?
Yeah,
At
they
some
sit
point?
out there on the thing.
I know, but then I have to find it
It's right there.
in
You
the
know,
jumble of all the things.
you know exactly where they are.
No, I don't.
They're right there on this in the slot. Right next to the squeezy thing that puts them on.
The crocodile.
That thing. The crocodile.
So, what's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie?
Mine?
Yeah.
Shit, I like everything that he did.
Really? He did some stuff that I don't care for the genre.
Okay. I don't like that. I don't like Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I never really got that movie. I think I was at the wrong age.
Mm-mm. I don't like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and that's probably the one thing I don't like him in, and that was the first thing he was ever in.
I don't really remember him from that, though. I barely remember
But
the
truthfully,
movie.
I didn't like him back then.
Okay.
He was a shit when he was a teenager.
It was actually a shit, or he portrayed a
He
shit?
was really a shit.
Okay. Full of himself?
No, he was just he was that kid, that boy in school that would see the Tampax in your purse
Oh. And have to make a thing about it?
and be a thing about it. That was him.
Okay, but that's just men being stupid.
He was also that kid that when we were at his uncle's house swimming, he would untie the girls' bikinis.
Ow.
You know that kid?
No, because I never went to those kind of
Okay,
things.
but
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
that was him.
I
Nowadays, he's
was
a lot
not
more
a popular kid. I was not popular.
nowadays, he's a lot more sedate.
Well, he's significantly older. You'd think so.
Yeah. I think the wife and kids slowed him down.
Janice, was he in that? I don't remember him in that.
In what?
Fast Times. I haven't thought about Fast Times at Ridgemont High in forever. And I know that there's like a class of people that like they quote from that and everything. I'm like, you maybe need to let go.
He was in the stoner van.
Okay.
There
Did he
you
have like a bit part or something?
Yeah, it wasn't a very big part. You get a couple of scenes. Well, that's what happens when your uncle is Francis Ford Coppola.
I don't really think about that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, but that's Hollywood.
I don't want to know stuff about celebrities because sometimes it ruins it for me, you know?
I know.
I try to avoid all that.
And the Dan Brown that you were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
that's Tom Hanks.
That I really don't like him. In that role. They're okay movies and on shitty what I think are shitty books, but I really didn't like him in that.
But that's
And
what it
I
was.
generally
It was
like
Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
It was Tom Hanks.
I did not like that movie about You've Got Mail. I didn't like that movie. I know for red chili in there, it was like that long, as long as my finger and about as wide as my pinky. I'm like, that bitch is trying to kill me. It was big. I had Kung Pao chicken. She got fried rice. And I ate it and it was delicious. And then I took a nap. Chinese food coma. Yes. Ooh. I want two. Thank you. Two fists in it. Donut holes. Oh, I'm not even on my live stream anymore. What happened there? I didn't really, I thought it was, and some people really rave about it, and I don't think less of them for it or anything like that. I just, like Ellis keeps trying to convince me that 50 Shades of Grey is a good book, and I'm like, I don't think so. I did watch the movies, two of the three movies with them. I haven't seen the last one yet. Oh my God, we were in the thrift store today, and there was 50 Shades of Grey was on the shelf. There's always a copy of at least one of those books. But there was also a cookbook called 50 Shades of Chicken. And it was all these chicken recipes with the chicken bound up in different ways. I was like, this is so wrong. I probably should have bought it. It was hysterical. But they were right next to each other. But the chemistry. They were okay movies. I enjoyed it. I think I probably didn't enjoy them as much. Give him the bird. I'm just going to cut this right down. So are you guys going to do spring journals? Are you doing any glue booking? Like, what do you have on tap for spring? I've got several journals and a couple of glue books I want to make. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do them partially live or if I'm just going to make them and show them. I'm trying to cut off the trademark and the period. There, at least we got the period off there. I cut it crooked. Or maybe it's just the way I look at it. Okay. I don't need the picture of the wild turkey. I read an excerpt in English class, and I was not impressed. So there's that. All right. I think I'm just going to try and cut the black lines off that. I know they're probably supposed to be there, but got to draw the line somewhere. Literally. I want to clean off a space and sort all my junk, donate or something, a bunch of it, and get down to a manageable hoard. I'm dyeing mine and selling it. But a lot of the books I buy are to dye. Today was a rare exception where most of what I bought is to read. But how often do you walk into a Goodwill and find all 3 Lord of the Rings books? Same style, same paperback trade size, and all with the same cut, not movie covers. I was very happy about that. So I bought, and they were only $1.99, so, you know, bonus. But a lot of what I'm looking for different fun types of things to, okay, so here's a dilemma, because they did all these songs with lyrics. Rudolph the Black Sabbath Reindeer to the tune of Iron Man. Purple Sleighs to the tune of Purple Haze. I'm going to have to find a way to use this, because there's also this. They did these little, like, claymation of the... I just think that's funny. So I'm just going to keep these. I'm going to put them in the Christmas envelope. And I'll have to think on how we would use them, because I think that's awesome. They did it. Here's Manger Land to the tune of Jungle Land. Hammer of the Claws to the tune of Immigrant Song. Oh my God. The Dreidel Song to the tune of All Along the Watchtower. I just think that's too funny. So those will have to go in the Christmas envelope. I like Harry Potter, but you can watch too much Harry Potter. I'm just saying. And I really like this. I'm going to cut the reindeer out. I don't want to get in the holiday spirit at Starbucks. But I do like that rather stylized reindeer. So we'll just pull the Starbucks stuff off that. Yep, I cut that bird's head right off. All right, there we go. Put that there. And then I kept this image yesterday of this guy. There's a man in there. I'm going to, again, I think keep this as a whole image because I am. Fussy cutting it now would like separate the words from the image. And I think I want to keep it all together. Yeah, I'm micro buffering. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm so sorry. It's I think it's YouTube. I don't think it's my internet. Yeah, I wish they would show up more often too. I love Lord of the Rings. And I like Harry Potter, but I don't think I could watch it every weekend. Okay, so we're going to trim this down a little bit and try and do a magazine pull off this one. You just don't need that edge like that. All right, I think that's pretty, well, maybe we'll cut off this little bit at the bottom too. Okay, so that's for a magazine pull. I'm going to leave this whole because I'm going to want to cut some of the words out. But I like having them all in one place so I can choose. So I think I'll just cut her off and keep that list of words. There we go. No, I'm pretty sure it's through YouTube because I can see it micro buffering on my side, little bitty bits at a time. That's what I see going on. All right, so I want these pictures here. So let's cut them apart to start with. On this side, because that's the flat side. Yeah. All right, so we'll start right here. Well, we'll start right there because we don't need these words over here. And what else? Well, and with the Lord of the Rings, you know, you get such a, I love all the landscape, you know. It's not that Harry Potter doesn't have good landscape, but there's just something about Lord of the Rings that really catches you, you know. Okay, so let's see. We want to cut this a little bit shorter on the sides. The idea is to start, I think that's good right there, and then let's cut this bottom piece off. Get it down to a little bit more usable size. We'll be wrapping up soon. I have a lot more to cut, but I don't want to be on for like 86 hours and take up your guys' whole night. I'm just trying to get back into the habit of getting back online on a regular basis. So tomorrow, oh God, I've done a terrible thing. I'm going to bring out that pile of gamer magazines. There's a lot of stuff that I want to use for my war collage that I'm working on. And there's some good stuff for our creepy horror. I read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I read The Hobbit over and over again. I got to tell you honestly, I read it when I was a kid, like 9 or 10. My dad had a big illustrated version, and I loved that book. So I read The Hobbit multiple times. But I don't know if he didn't have the Lord of the Ring books, or I just was so in love with the story, the Hobbit, that he didn't want to move on to any place else in the universe. Like, I can't remember that far back now what my motivation was. But I really, really loved the Hobbit book. I loved the illustrations. I loved the story. It made a very big impression on me as a child. And then when I was a teenager, you know, I didn't get along well with my dad. We were very just personalities that rubbed each other wrong, because my dad was an okay guy. We just didn't see eye to eye on much. And my mom thought one of the ways we might bond is I really like to read. And I'd gone through a phase where I'd read like hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of Harlequin romances. And I was so over it. And that was probably not a good age to read those, by the way. And I had expressed an interest in reading horror, which is he liked classic literature as well. But, I think I was 12, 13, 14, around that age. And he recommended me Stephen King. And I think that's what started me with reading horror. So that may be part. I don't know that he liked, I can't really remember. I don't know if he liked horror movies. I know we went and saw a couple of movies that were based on Stephen King books, but he had like Stephen King first editions and stuff. Like he really liked Stephen King as an author. And so I think that may be what is at the core of my love of horror. It was a way to bond a little bit with my dad, and we didn't see eye to eye on much of anything. We're just very different people. Which is hard to say that I didn't like the kind of person my dad was, but he wasn't a bad person. In real life, we would have never been friends. Like, if I wasn't related to him, I doubt we would have had any kind of interactions together. And he didn't much care for who I was as a person. He told me one time he didn't find me interesting enough. What a thing to tell your own kid. Maybe you could have waited till I was an adult to tell me that. I might have taken it better. Such is life. I don't know what to do with these words. Because I really like the image. I guess we're just going to go for it. We're going to cut it off and see what happens. And then Jessica, who then became Liam, really loved the Hobbit movies, read the Lord of the Rings series over and over again. Like, could quote from the books and stuff, and even read the Silmarillion. Had hard opinions about Lord of the Rings. Very much into sci-fi and heavily into fantasy. That was just his jam. Like some horror, he liked horror games. He was heavy into Lord of the Rings. Probably still is. Once you're in the fandom, I think it doesn't let you go. It's not for everybody. And I may talk about it a lot, but I would never push anybody to. You like what you like. Everybody likes different. If we all like the same things, how boring would the world be? How's this for weird? I think I'm going to watch Bridgerton. I keep hearing lots of good things about it, and the previews look funny. So I think I might enjoy it. I'm not really much for period pieces, but it just sounds like it's a lot of fun. So I may give it a go. Maybe. Cutting out this weird hiking boot. Okay. I love shoes and collage. It's one of my things. Shoes and watches. Liquor. I like liquor in my collages. The shoe thing may be partially because, like, my feet are not in good shape. So I'm limited on what shoes I can wear. Maybe that's how I'm living my vicarious shoe dream. Through collage. All right. Giant hiking boot. Yeah. If you're our age and you're not already into horror, I wouldn't push anybody just because you're kind of already set in your ways, right? Nope. I don't know why I picked out that image. We're going to let that one go. Oh, this is the one. Okay, so this will be something that I fussy cut at the time I use it. Because it'll just be a rough fussy cut. And if I fussy cut it now, I run the risk of this getting ruined. So we'll just put that back here to be filed away in the backgrounds. And this was get your button gear. That guy is actually getting his button gear. He's toning up the tushy. I know. I just like the way he's like. I think that'll be fun fussy cut out and put into a collage. I read them and I thought it was a done series because there hadn't been one out for a while, and I didn't really check it out before I started reading them. And I was so mad when I got to the last book and I realized it was an unfinished series. And then when I read farther, I realized it's probably never going to be done. There is a lot of characters in that book. And I don't think he's ever going to finish the series. I think when they made this TV series out of it, I think that he's probably never going to finish that. And I was so pissed off. But what a kind of fucked up series of books. Not saying I didn't like it, but there was a lot of messed up stuff in that book. That man's head is a crazy place. But I think probably all the best authors, a little bit crazy in the head. I think I need to switch to smaller scissors for his hand. I don't know if I read any of the Wheel of Time. Doesn't ring any bells. I'm not talking because I'm just paying attention so I don't cut this guy's head off. I have to go through all this effort and then snip his head right off. Off with his head. Here we go. Coming in on the home stretch. And then we don't want to snip one of his legs off. After all this work, we don't want to cut off a foot or a leg. Okay. There we go. We did it. Woohoo! We got the guy. Yeah, I found that because there were so many characters in Game of Thrones, it was really hard. Like, you'd forget that there was even that character was even in the story, and all of a sudden they pop up 2 books later and be an integral part of the story. I think he could have probably written those for many years to come. I think he shot himself in the foot when he let him make it into a series. Because no matter what he does with it now, people are going to have hard opinions about it. The fandom has taken over. I watched all but I think the last season. I never saw it. I think I watched most of the series on HBO. Or the HBO series. I did not watch it on HBO. Not really. It was okay. I didn't really love it the way some people did. I think I preferred it as a book. I love these ones with the lightning and stuff. Very nice. Oh, yeah.
A lot of religious.
Oh, yeah. I tend to get bored with that kind of stuff, honestly. Did anyone else hate, like, I read the woman on the train, and then there was like a whole series of those, all with the name woman or girl in the title. And I wanted to like them, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't get there, I gotta tell you. So I like this whole image. I'm going to use it in a journal. Probably going to journal right over the top of it on the misty parts. So we're just cleaning it up, taking the words off it. Kind of the same here with this sunset. Just like the image. But the words have to come off it. And we're going to cut it like, no, we can't cut it like that. We're going to leave that side just the way it is. But we have to cut all the words off the top here. There we go. I think, though, to fit on a page, it's going to have to be a little bit. And because the sunset's over here, we really can't trim that side. Okay. It was like the woman in cabin 10, and there was another one, the girl on the train, and then, you know, there were like maybe 10 of them that came out. They weren't all by the same author, but they were all the same sort of book. And I think it's Netflix that just put a movie out. Somebody just put a movie out. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. That kind of is the same as the book, but it pokes a little bit of fun at the book. There was one that came out with Amy Adams, which was like a serious one, which I thought was good. I think it was Amy Adams. Netflix. It was Netflix or NET. Oh, I think I just typed in the wrong thing. Just a second. But it was like the woman in the window from the girl across the street, something like that. It was a basically tongue-in-cheek a version of those books. And I actually really liked that. Not now. Why do you keep doing that? Quick, get off there before it starts playing. Oh, I know what I need to do. Shit, I need to go back up there. Okay, I need to go to my account and see if it's in my watch history. All right, bear with me for a second. Okay, there were some good landscape pictures in this one. I'm going to trim a little bit off each side just to... Nope, I think that's where it's at. Let's see, watch history. Recent streaming device. Activated device. They make it hard for you to find your playlist now. things you've actually watched. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, it was something along those lines, and I actually really enjoyed that. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. You don't need a vacation. You need an RV. So we're going to keep that whole for now. And then we're going to cut the word adventures off this side. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, it's supposed to be a parody of, but also those books. It's a parody of those books as well. And it was like the girl in Cabin 10, or the woman in Cabin 10, the girl on the train, and there was a couple of other ones, and they all came out around the same time, and they all had the same, it's the woman is lush, but she's seen something terrible, and she can't get anybody to believe her. But I really liked the parody vibe. I had a good time with it. It was painful in parts just because you're like, oh my God, get your shit together, woman. But when you're damaged, it's not that you can't just get your shit together. That's like telling a depressed person to get over it. It doesn't work like that. But it's kind of maddening to watch it happen, But I thought they did a pretty good job with that. They hit all the tropes on that one. It was a little cringy at times. I loved Rear Window, though. Classic. Yeah, they're supposed to be tension builders. Very suspenseful. Supposed to draw you in and put you on the edge of your seat. Is she going to get, is she going to get murdered? Is she going to figure it out? Are people finally going to believe her? That sort of thing. But on that one, I did see the ending coming a mile away. I was like, I know who the killer is. In here by myself, because I'm the only one that watches that shit. All right, I still have a pretty good size pile of images. Let's see how long we've been on. Well, that's not the right place. Come on. What are we doing, guys? Okay, we have been on for an hour and 48 minutes. Holy shnikes. So I think we're going to call it for the night. And I won't be able to finish this tonight because I have a pile of stuff to do. But we made pretty good headway. So this is what's left. It's mostly images to cut down. And probably a few things to fussy cut. These birds to fussy cut. So maybe on Sunday, that's what we'll do, is we'll come back and do another session. I'm going to pull out that big stack of gamer magazines tomorrow night, and that's what we're going to work on. And I've set aside a couple hours so we can go long tomorrow if anybody's interested in that. Other than that, thanks for hanging out with me, Janice. It looks like it's mostly just you and me shooting the shit, but I had a great time. You are awesome. So, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, or if you have plans, I'll see you another time. However you're spending your days and nights, I hope it brings you great joy and happiness. Each and every one of you absolutely deserves it. And until I see you in one of my lives or in a box somewhere, I wish you the happiest of crafting. You guys have a lovely night. And thank you so much, Janice. You kept me company. Have a great evening. The end.